want to ask you about something, and I want to preface this by saying this is based purely on rumor, and it's not something we're investigating as an agency, but it's in the Smith family. You familiar with what I'm talking about?
I am.
Say it again, please. I missed
the
that.
Smith family. The boy.
Oh, is he going to talk about Stephen Smith rumors about how Buster was involved in this? Because I don't think the Smith family, I don't know if I ever heard about them going after Paul for the boat thing or like harassing him or anything like that.
Right, I got it. It is.
Has anything about that incident come into play in terms of threats, in terms of your thoughts on this incident, in terms of in any fashion? Is there any part of that, rumors you've heard, accusations, any threats you've had related to that?
No, sir.
Is there anything you want to elaborate on that? I mean, has anyone ever questioned you about that?
Yeah, well, I mean, I've read the articles and the rumors and saying that, I've had people understand to think that that's what I did, and I've had people message me and stuff and call me a piece of shit and a murderer and a faggot and things like that, but I've never received a formal threat, and I haven't heard a lot about it in a while either.
It's pretty much died off.
I would say that, yes.
When you say messaging, I mean, it's like social media messaging, or
yeah, this would be Facebook, and Facebook. I think I got a couple off of Instagram as well.
Did you receive any of those kind of messages after the boat incident?
I did, very similar, but again, never a formal threat.
Anyone you ever recognized?
No, sir, never anybody that I knew who they were.
Did you ever do any kind of looking to see if there was somebody who might have at least been, if nothing else, geographically able to carry out a threat or something like that? Or
I didn't.
Look into who it was?
I didn't. I didn't take much away from it. I figured the people were just saying stuff.
Have you saved any of that stuff? Screenshotted any of it?
I haven't saved any of it. It might still be in the, in the far lowers of my messages, but actually, to be honest with you, I think I probably deleted some of it too, because I just didn't enjoy looking at it.
When we conclude here today, what I might ask as you go forward, as fun as it might be, is that maybe you go back and see what might be there, and maybe see about screenshotting that and provide it to us. On the off chance that a name might pop up that might be useful to us down the road.
Yes, sir.
I'd encourage you to do that.
Charles, let me add, I have been involved with the family primarily just trying to keep Alex straight up since the boat. There was a time there, about a week, 10-day, 2-week period.
So just a little bit of a recap on that. Let me just read this article really quick, just so I don't get it wrong, because there was a lot of rumors going back and forth. Just want to make sure I hear it straight. Because I think initially they thought it was Buster Murdaugh that was involved, because one, they said that one of his relatives, I think was Randy, who was at the scene, and they thought that was kind of weird because Randy's a lawyer, but maybe he's there trying to, I don't know why he would be there. Maybe he was just driving by or something. I don't know. Another thing was, I think there's a member of Stephen Smith's family that said that he was potentially seeing someone that was of a prominent family, but wouldn't say who. And I forgot what else. Let's just read this article. Buster, the son of a convicted double murderer, Alex Murdaugh, is breaking his silence about the death of his high school classmate. A new doc set for release this week, which we didn't watch. Alex Murdaugh's oldest son has been the focus of rumors and speculations surrounding the death of Stephen Smith in July of 2015. Stephen was an openly gay teenager whose body was found in the middle of Sandy Run Road in Hampton, South Carolina. He has suffered head trauma. Now, the only update that I heard recently was Stephen Smith. So they did exhume his body to have it examined for another time, second time, I think. And apparently they're trying to get into his iPad. They thought the iPad was destroyed, but the iPad is not destroyed. And they're going to try to get into it to see if they can collect any information, see who was texting, who was communicating with, and stuff like that. Smith's death was initially ruled a hit and run, but some state troopers investigating the crash took issue with that finding, as was Smith's family. Small-town gossip fueled rumors about Buster Murdaugh's possible relationship with Smith. Buster Murdaugh and Smith were classmates at Wade Hampton High School and played on the same baseball team. Now, Buster Murdaugh is publicly speaking for the first time about the rumors in an interview with Fox Nation host Martha McCallum. The interview is a documentary, Fall of the House of Murdaugh. I never had anything to do with this murder. I never had anything to do with him on a physical level of any regard. Speculation about Buster Murdaugh's involvement in Smith's death intensified earlier this year after Smith's mother had his body exhumed for a second autopsy. Docs and podcasts also focus on rumors state troopers heard about Buster Murdaugh and Smith during the investigation. The speculation prompted Buster Murdaugh to issue a statement denying what he called vicious rumors. The statement and exhumation followed Alex Murdaugh's trial, in which he was convicted in the June 2021 murders of his wife Maggie and his youngest son Paul. Buster Murdaugh testified in his father's murder trial. The Fox Nation doc is the first time Buster Murdaugh has granted an interview about the murders, or has granted an interview about the murders or Smith's case. It also marks the second time the general public will hear from him. McCallum asked Buster Murdaugh where he was the night Smith was killed. The night Stephen was killed, I was at our Edisto beach house. McCallum followed up with their family, with my mom and brother. McCallum also asked Buster about the impact the rumors have had on him as he mourned the loss of his mother and brother. I don't want to be rude here, but have you ever been accused of murdering someone? Well, let me tell you, this is very, 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 it's a very terrible thing to place on somebody with absolutely no fact. I mean, it has harmed my reputation. I mean, people perceive me as a murderer. The grand jury was impaneled to investigate Smith's death earlier this summer, according to Sandy Smith's lawyer. South Carolina law enforcement, or SLED, has been investigating Smith's death since June of 2021. I wanted to see what the other rumors were, the reason why people thought that he was involved, but that might be, I guess, in a different article. But yeah, I just remember it was something about, apparently Stephen was like maybe seeing someone who had, you know, a very prominent family, and then also it was like Randy Murdaugh, like I think being at the scene, which people just thought it was weird. Hi, honey, how are you doing today? Hello, hello. On YouTube tutorials. Oh, wait, what was the tutorial for? I used to make different videos of like different random stuff. Hi, honey, Havenly, thanks for popping in. How are you? Hello, hello. All right, let's go back to Buster. Oh, this is Alec.
Where the line between the Boat and the Smith thing really got blurred and all mixed up in social media. But then that sort of calmed down. But there was a period of time in there within several weeks after where people were associating one with the other and just,
and that's an important distinction to make, Buster, as we sit here, that you certainly have a family resemblance to your brother.
I did hear about the baseball thing, but why were there rumors again? Was it like the Randy thing, Stephen possibly seeing someone, and then was there like a letter or what was it? There was like another thing too. Why people thought that it was Buster.
And while I'm certainly not saying this was the case, I mean, if someone were angry about the Smith case, it's conceivable they could have found out about your property, come out looking for you, and have a scenario like that. I'm not saying that. I certainly don't want to give you any kind of bad feelings, but it's a possibility, like all the possibilities we talk about, that we have to consider. So that's why I want to talk to you about if you had any specific people you were concerned about along that avenue.
No, sir, I wouldn't say I had any concerns about that.
Okay.
Oh, not the alarm.
Happened or what they think happened. Has anyone talked to you about what occurred that night, or
As far as like speculative?
Speculative or actual? Has anyone giving you anything that they know that you think we might not know, or that
No, I mean the only thing that I understand is, I understand what happened that night, and that's pretty much where my information ends, because I know what happened.
Would you tell me in your words what happened?
Well, from the way that I understand it is that my mom and my brother were down at the kennels, and that from what it seems to me is that two people came up and somehow got on top of them and shot him dead.
Yeah, but I mean, like, the boat thing, like, why go after Maggie too because she was a witness? Why not bring their own guns?
What makes you say that it was two people?
I read an article that stated 2 guns.
That's what you base that on?
It is.